Hello, my friends. Today, I want to share a story with you. It is an inspiring story about one of my students. His name is Ryan. Ryan comes from a small, quiet village. In this village, people often speak their native language, not English. But Ryan dreamt of speaking English fluently someday. Dreams, my friends, can be the first step to achieving something big. Don't you think so? Ryan was a bright boy who always stood out for his intelligence and eagerness to learn. He loved to study and explore new things, always asking questions and seeking answers. His curiosity made him a favorite among his teachers. In school, one of the subjects he enjoyed was English. He could read long passages and write essays with ease. His grammar was good, and he often scored high marks in his exams. Teachers praised his work, and his classmates admired his skills. However, there was one challenge that Ryan faced. Although he excelled in reading and writing English, he struggled when it came to speaking the language. Every time he tried to speak, he felt a knot in his stomach. His palms would get sweaty, and his heart would beat faster. He worried about saying the wrong words or making mistakes. This fear of speaking made him hesitate, even when he knew the right words. He often wondered, what if people laugh at me? Have you ever felt like this? If you have, you're not alone. Many people feel nervous when they try to speak a new language. It's completely normal. One day, after class, Ryan approached me with a serious look on his face. He hesitated for a moment, then said, "Sir, I really want to speak English fluently, but I don't know how to start. It feels so hard." I could see the determination in his eyes, mixed with a bit of worry. I smiled warmly, trying to encourage him. "Ryan," I said, "learning to speak English fluently is like learning anything new. It takes time, effort, and most importantly, practice. The more you practice, the easier it becomes." I could tell he wanted a clear plan, so I gave him some simple but effective advice. "Start small," I said. "Don't try to do everything at once. Speak a little every day. Start by talking to yourself when you're alone. For example, describe what you're doing or what you see around you. Then, try speaking to your friends in English. Even if it's just a few sentences, it's a good start. Don't worry about making mistakes. Mistakes are a sign that you're learning." Ryan listened carefully, nodding as I spoke. I added, "The key is consistency. If you speak a little English every day, even just for a few minutes, you'll notice a big difference over time. Day by day, you will improve, and one day, you'll look back and be amazed at how far you've come." Ryan's face lit up with hope, and I knew he was ready to take on the challenge. Ryan took my advice seriously and decided to take action right away. He sat down and made a simple plan for himself. He knew that small steps would lead to big changes, so he started with something easy but effective. Every morning he stood in front of a mirror in his room. He looked at his reflection and practiced speaking simple sentences. At first he said things like, "My name is Ryan. I live in a village. I like to play football." These were sentences he already knew, which made it less intimidating for him to start. In the beginning, it felt a little strange to him. He wasn't used to hearing his own voice speaking in English, and sometimes he felt shy, even though he was alone. But he didn't give up. He reminded himself that this was part of the process. Slowly, what once felt awkward started to feel normal. Day by day, this small habit became a regular part of his routine. The mirror practice helped him in many ways. He began to feel more comfortable with the sound of English words and how they rolled off his tongue. He also noticed that looking at himself while speaking gave him more confidence. It was like he was having a conversation with himself, and each time he felt a little less nervous. Over time, this simple habit built a strong foundation for his speaking skills. It gave him the courage to try speaking English in front of others. One day, Ryan came to me with a big smile on his face. He seemed excited, as if he had a secret to share. "Sir," he said, "I have been doing something different to practice speaking English." Curious, I asked him what it was. He grinned and said, "I talk to the cows and chickens in my village. When I go to feed them, I say sentences in English like, 'Are you hungry?' or 'This is your food.' At first it felt silly, but now it's fun for me. They don't judge me, so I don't feel nervous at all." I couldn't help but laugh when I heard this. The image of Ryan standing in the field, talking to cows and chickens, was both funny and heartwarming. But I also felt proud of him for finding such a creative way to practice. I looked at him and said, "Ryan, that is a wonderful idea. You found a way to make learning fun and stress-free. By talking to the animals, you are building your confidence without even realizing it. The more you speak, the more confident you will feel when you talk to people." Ryan's face lit up with pride. He had turned a simple daily task into an opportunity to improve his English. It showed me how determined he was to learn and how creative he could be in finding solutions. I told him, "Keep going, Ryan. You're doing great, and this practice will take you far." Another thing Ryan started doing was listening to English songs. He couldn't understand them at first, but he loved the rhythm of the words. Slowly, he began picking up words and phrases. He would write them down and ask me their meanings. I told him, "Ryan, the more you listen, the clearer it gets." Ryan also loved reading short English stories. When he found a word he didn't know, he didn't skip it. He wrote it down, asked me the meaning, and used it in his sentences. He started keeping a little notebook. In it, he wrote all the new words he learned. He called it his English treasure. Isn't that a beautiful way to learn? The more you read, the stronger your vocabulary becomes. There were days when Ryan felt frustrated. He told me, "Sir, I still make mistakes. Sometimes when I speak, people laugh at my pronunciation." I looked at him and said, "Ryan, mistakes are good. Do you know why? Because mistakes teach us. Don't be afraid. Mistakes are not your enemy. They are your teachers. Remember, the more you learn, the more capable you become." I also gave him a challenge. I said, "Ryan, find a friend in your village who also wants to practice English. Talk to them every day for 5 minutes in English. It can be about anything, the weather, your lunch, or even the color of the sky." He found his friend Caleb, and they started practicing together. Ryan later told me, "Sir, talking with Caleb has made speaking English so much fun. We laugh and learn together." One day, Ryan surprised me in class. We had a speaking activity, and he stood in front of everyone. He said, "Good morning, everyone. My name is Ryan. Today I will tell you about my village." He spoke for 2 whole minutes. Yes, he made some small mistakes, but he didn't stop. I saw his classmates clapping for him. That moment was big for Ryan. He realized that he could do it. His confidence grew that day. Months passed, and Ryan's English kept improving. He no longer feared speaking. When visitors came to his village, he greeted them in English. "Hello, welcome to our village. How can I help you?" he would say. He told me, "Sir, it feels amazing to speak and have people understand me. I am so happy." I smiled and replied, "Ryan, this is the power of practice. You worked hard, and now you are seeing the results. Ryan's story is not just about him. It is about all of us. It teaches us that nothing is impossible if we practice. And remember, practice doesn't mean being perfect from day one. Practice means trying again and again. The more you focus, the faster you improve. Just like Ryan, you can take small steps each day. One word, one sentence, one conversation at a time. So, my dear friends, can you promise yourself something today? Promise yourself that you will practice speaking a little every day, just like Ryan did. Practice with your friends, with your family, or even with yourself in front of a mirror. And if you make mistakes, don't worry. Mistakes mean you are learning and growing. Now, I want you all to think about one small goal. Maybe you want to learn 5 new words this week. Or maybe you want to say one English sentence every day. Whatever it is, set a goal and start. Write in the comments below what your goal is. Let's help each other improve. Always remember Ryan's journey. Start small, dream big, and never give up. The power of practice is real, and it can change your life. Keep learning, my friends, because the more you learn, the more confident and capable you become.